Hello, Wayward Gamers. Welcome to the Emporium. You might be curious why you're watching Series 2, The Colony, first. No, you didn't miss Series 1. We here at the Emporium have decided to stream Series 2 first for a more suspenseful story. This way, Series 1 will be more of a mystery. Also, we're recording our series throughout 2025, which is the Aliens beta RPG. It's the beta of the RPG, which means you will notice some differences in gameplay, rules used, that isn't in the official Aliens RPG now that it is out. That's all right. We like to use the rule of cool to tell a story. Know that we've gone through our safety tools and our lines and veils. There will be violence, some gore, we see deaths, but no, we are okay. So sit back, enjoy the show. Hello, everyone! Welcome back, Wayward Gamers, to the Emporium. I am Jay, also known as Neofet3 in the socials. As some of you might be realizing that we came back from break, we've changed and we've added a person. We took a quick cryo break and just got out of our cryo beds and, changed a little bit for you. But with that, thank you for returning to episode 1 of our Alien RPG Until Dawn Arrives, Series 2, The Colony. And we're going to do is, because we now have another wonderful player at the table, we're going to do introductions again real quick so that if you just joined us, you know what's going on. And we'll go from there. So thank you again for being here. Who are you playing?
Halito, everybody. My name is Adam, and I am playing Jax Rickard, the roughneck, strong of muscle, uptight of brain. And
good-looking leader, so to speak.
Yes.
I've been entertained by the wonderful protocol master he is.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Jim, how's Big Iron?
Big Iron's great. Yeah, so I'm Jim, and I'm playing Mike Big Iron James, our former Marine pilot who's now working for Jax.
Excellent. And on the colony, doing driving and hauling and doing all that other stuff. And yes, which your piloting skills won't come into play at all in this session.
No, probably not. Okay.
Yep, no, not at all. Thank you for being here. Joshua, thank you. And how is the doctor doing?
The doctor is in and doing great. Super excited to be back. Dr. Chayton Bennett is our resident, not head doctor, but definitely the most formally trained doctor according to his corporate the corporate doctors who trained him.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. And with our new and wonderful player at the table, Danny, how are you doing and who are you playing?
Hi, it's me. I just got here. My name is Danny. I'm gonna be playing Little T, also known as a Little Problem, and I'm very, very excited to be here with all these lovely people. And I hope you all enjoy this little menace I'm bringing to to the table.
Chaos is welcomed in this. As everyone knows, thank you for joining us again. We've gone through our safety tools, we've gone through our processes, and we are good to go. And we pick up as this is a colony, a mining colony that's been around for 200 years. And we picked up the first part as we introduced 3 of these wonderful characters as they were getting around, and they've got something happened. There was a ship that crashed, and they were the ones on the duty roster for rescue. And we left off with their getting getting prepped in their vehicle and going to be heading out. But before we do that, we're going to rewind time. And we're going to open the scene as a camera opens up at the doctor's office in the colony. As Dr. Bennett is just meeting Little T for something. And we're going to open the scene as the curtains open and take it away. As the doctor opens up the door, the screen panel or the curtain as Little T is sitting on the medical bed in your office.
Dr. Bennett opens up and looks at the med pad that he's always carrying around with him, and he looks over at Little T. Well, I always want to tell my patients I'm happy to see them, but whenever you're here, that's not always a good thing. You want to tell me about what's going on and perhaps what happened that you know, doctor patient confidentiality stays between us.
Nothing happened. Technically, so I'm here because I like your company.
Little T, I appreciate your company as well. You are definitely, as far as a lot of the kids that are here, you're definitely one of the more creative.
I am pretty great, yeah.
Do you the medical data transmitters, you didn't happen to bring those back, the 2 that have went offline that I've put on you in the past, did you? No? Okay, that's fine. I just figured I would ask. So it looks like you're pretty scraped up.
No. And he starts like pulling down like his this jacket like over like his knees. Like, no. It's not that bad. So
what does Little T look like? Sorry to interrupt. What does Little T look like?
So you see this little kid with brown skin that matches like his sort of this like wavy brown hair he has that is mostly hidden by a very large hat. I don't know the name of these hats, but it's one of those hats that have like that like cover like the ears and they have like little pockets on the side and there's a little like there's like attached to it there's looks like little antenna that looks like he's like stitched onto it. He has these big old blue eyes and some like bandages from past scrapes that haven't healed yet. He wears like this sort of big coat that has a lot of like patches and stitching on it. It looks like it's seen a lot of wear and tear. but he refuses to get rid of it. So, and it's obviously far too big for him. It is not. It was not. It is surely not his. And under that is sort of just like a simple, like a black like zip up shirt, a similar pants color to like this the green overcoat that he has. He's wearing like this blue scarf that covers half of his body, and has like these little like fingerless black gloves because he probably thinks he looks cooler with them. And uh he has the biggest smile on his face that sometimes twitches a little bit as he feels something on his body not feel right because he is in like a little bit of pain. But he is smiling and looking around as he talks and not making eye contact. And that's little T. Oh, go ahead, yes.
No. So Dr. Chayton, Dr. Bennett would start to kneel down as you're hiding and obviously not making eye contact. Dr. Bennett would kneel down, like set the med pad down, grab a device, and even like proactively like grabbing a little bit of like disinfectant gel, and say, let me see. I know, like, I can only help you as far as you let me help you, unless you're incapacitated, and then that's a very different problem. So if you let me take a look, I can get rid of the pain that you're likely in right now.
I don't feel pain. I'm invincible.
Dr. Bennett goes, oh, okay, that's great, and just takes the analyzer device and like puts it over the pants to kind of poke at where the wound actually is. Hmm. I would have thought invincibility would have manifested differently in the human genome.
You're not invincible. You don't know. Okay, maybe it hurts a little bit.
All right, well, let me see it. Let me make sure it's not going to get infected and hurt for a long time. Now, you wouldn't happen to know anything about what was happening with the hoppers and the conveyor belts, would you?
I don't even know what a conveyor belt is. He like quickly like rolls up like half of his like pants leg, and it shows like his like from his knees, but it's like on his knees like the worst part from his knee down is sort of like a bunch of like dirt and clear like ore debris, and like on his knees is like this scrape that you could tell it's sort of like a it looks like in the sense of like somebody who like fell off a bike and then like scraped their knee, but he fell off of like a conveyor belt and scraped his knees. And so he like rolls it up and it's like, so yeah.
All right. He takes some of the gel and he gets some pads and he starts to clean it up. And as he's talking, trying to understand, like, I there were it sounded like there were a few other people that may have been hurt in that hopper and conveyor belt thing. I'm I'm glad you didn't have anything to do with that. As he's cleaning off and going, how are things with the siblings?
Oh, they're fine. I mean, everybody does their own thing. I gotta run things. They all sort of look to me for leadership. So, but they're they're fine.
You're keeping them in line, right? Like
Yeah,
you're making sure that everybody's staying out of trouble.
I run a tight ship here,
It's good.
and I do what I gotta do.
And he's just like cleaned it off, applied a salve to stop disinfection, currently scanning to make sure that there is no infection or anything. All right, well, let's get this kind of a skin wrap over you and make sure that this is going to be okay. But you're just make sure you're being careful with things. I think a curious mind is a very powerful tool, but you need to make sure that you're thinking through some of the things as you're being curious. Make sure that you're not leading others potentially into any sort of problem, into any bad scrapes. I know you're used to leading your family. Eventually, I mean, you could be running this entire you could be the next, like, you could be a mayor in the future once you get old enough.
Seriously? You
I
think
think
so?
so. I think if you thought through, if you use that creative brain of yours and you just used it in the right direction to help others, make sure you tell others though. Like, make sure you help, like, tell others and make sure they're aware that you're going to do something. Make sure they know you're going to do something before you do it.
Mayor
And then
T.
I think in a couple of decades you could be a potential mayor candidate there, little T.
What's a decade?
It's 10 years. 10 or 20 years. Never know. You could be the youngest mayor. I mean, you could be the youngest mayor we've ever had. But I would hone your leadership skills. And as Dr. Bennett is saying all this, like, he's very much like, it's his empathy and genuine compassion that he has for all of his patients, of like finding that thing to help trying to build up an intention. Like, he is not being a smart aleck about it. Like, he is genuinely being sincere and trying to give a little bit of this like guidance as he can.
You see, the more he talks, the more little T seems to like actually genuinely pay attention. Like he's sort of like actually processing what he's saying occasionally, and will finally actually make eye contact with him. And after there's like a pause, little T will like look at him and go, "Do you want to see something cool?"
Of course.
And he like reaches into like one of his many pockets and he pulls out what looks to be like a bunch of different ore up together in like a bunch of like wire essentially, and it's supposed to be, and then he like holds it out and there's like some metal pieces like sticking out of it that looks like it's supposed to be like a reflective piece, like a screen almost like on the front, and Guilty like holds it out like this little weird creation in his hands and he goes, "It's a portable communicator. It just doesn't work yet."
That's that is awesome. You
You
have
think so?
I think so. I think, you know what? I mean, those, I've already written off those personal the medical data transmitters. So, if you do happen to have them, if you happen to find them and want to return them, you can. Or, if you happen to need them for parts for your communicator, you have my permission to be able to use those if you happen to find them, to try to build a working communicator of your own. But I'm not giving
Yeah,
you
yeah,
but I'm not
yeah,
gonna put
yeah,
another medical transmitter on you,
yeah.
because they do have a tendency of disappearing. I don't know if that's part of your invincibility, but yeah.
I don't know what happens. No, that doesn't seem right to me. I take very good care of things that are given to me, and I'm good. I'm feeling better. I like jumps off of the bed.
And at this point, there's an
uh,
entire, like, the equivalent of, like, the Band-Aids that have been put on, like, the
Mhm.
gauze and stuff that's been put on for helping healing and everything done. And he goes, "Well, I guess my work's here. I guess my work here is done, little T, but yours is probably just getting started. Do you want me to call you Mayor T or Mayor Little T? Like, how is that gonna work in the future?"
Mayor Little T.
You don't have to tell me now, but I just, think about that and think about how what being a mayor means for telling people and leading a colony.
As my first order as mayor, you call me Mayor Little T. I like that.
Okay, well, have a have a have a good evening, Mayor Little T. You are my last patient of the day, and I think I'm gonna go get a drink and relax.
Can I come with you?
Not this time. We do start our on-call rotation, and I would hate for you to get dragged into something that would put you at risk. But I will, whenever I come off of on duty, we will talk about what going for a drink or getting some French fries or something looks like. Okay.
I like
No,
French fries.
no foreshadowing there by Joshua.
And as the camera pans out, you've seen Little T leave the office and Dr. Benton. Little T, what are you doing for the next hour or two? Is it something that you going to go investigate, cause chaos, or just relax after your doctor visit?
Little T never relaxes.
Okay.
Little T will actually, I think he spends like 10 minutes actually going after what Dr. Bennett said of like going after the medical. I forgot what to call them. Oh my gosh. The
Transponders?
yes, that was given to him to
Okay.
try to like integrate it into his communicator.
Okay. So after about an hour of just Little T, we see Little T kind of running around the colony, working on some stuff. And where you're sitting and you're kind of working on something in a particular area, you hear this rumbling sound as everything is shaking in the colony. And I picture you're kind of outside in a way. You're kind of like in and out of, you're not inside, you're kind of outside inside. And you see this as the ship, this freighter, kind of on fire from entering the atmosphere, flies over the colony and to the northeast, because it came from the southwest. And there's a valley in that particular area. And actually, I think it was from the southeast to the northwest. Well, I'll have to look back and post. Needless to say, the ship kind of flies over. And just because you're kind of surrounded, you're kind of in a valley opened, but you're kind of in a valley area. And there's mountains on 3 sides of this particular colony. And there's a pass that goes, and that's where one of the other, a pass that gets to another valley. The ship kind of, you look over and a lot of people are seeing this, and it just comes over and just hits the mountainside of the pass that's not too far away and crashes. And you can hear a big crash and booms as the ship went down in the valley just on the other side of the mountain range. And people are scrambling and trying to figure like, oh my God, did you see that? And that's when you pick up and see Big Iron, Dr. Bennett, and Jax kind of split up, leaving the Piss Pot, which is the local bar. And they're going in their different directions. And you kind of see them. And what is Little T thinking at this moment?
So, I imagine the second like there was like Little T saw something in the sky, like barreling down, he like jumped up from like his sitting position, like followed it, like running around the room so he could like keep it in his vision until there was like that big boom, and then he like tumbled over. And he's like sitting on the ground, and he like his head turns, and he like sort of upside down, I think, sees the 3 like moving from the bar, like moving to like their positions, and the second of genuine fear and like worry that was on like Little T's face sort of shifts into opportunity. and he like gets up, and like I like to imagine it's sort of like the camera will like focus on him as he like gets up. There's dramatic lights. He like stands on like a little like bench or at something, and he like does like a little superhero pose, and is like, "Mayor Little T has to save the day again." And then like it pans back, everybody's like scrambling around. There's like alarms blaring in the middle of like his moment.
And you've heard, like I said, because the emergency response group is on duty. There's three people that, including the doctor, and they're going to the hangar to prep and get. And about 20 minutes later, you can't go, and you have to. You can't be spotted in the hangar or wanting to get on the truck, because if you get spotted, they're going to send you away immediately. And you have this idea of like, you could sneak into the back cabin of this 8x8 large monstrous terrain thing, because they're getting prepped in the front. You could sneak into the back and they wouldn't know it.
Sure. You see, like after Little T's little moment, he's like, his mind really like switches and is sort of like immediately in planning chaos mode, and he rushes like sort of like, he keeps like low, so he's like sort of crawling on the ground as he's like crawling around, like people trying to get around, people trying not to be seen. As he goes to a little compartment that is probably close to the hangar, it's like a little corner space, and he does like a couple of movements around the wall before like grabbing one part and like pulling a panel, like what used to be like a loose panel, away, and it reveals like a secret hidden room in in the corner of this area that has like this big, like a bunch of these different like items and little like machines and like clothes and stuff scattered around, and he grabs very quickly a random like bag that is labeled like adventure bag, Mark 5, and
Mark 5. So there's been 4 previous ones.
They didn't go very well, and they got taken away from him, and he hugs it, like sort of ties it around himself, and he slowly like peeks back out, and he sees the three in like the front of like this big like this monstrous machine, and like looks, and his eyes like widen and like sparkle, and it goes like looking from them to looking to like the back that is open, that is like being like open for like loading things and stuff, and he like nods his head as if he had the best idea in the world, and his best idea in the world is in his mind. I want you all to picture like very like Mission Impossible, like, oh, he's gonna like, oh, I'm gonna like weave and bob through these things, I'm gonna slide like into the door, I'm gonna like do like a front flip into the back compartment, and
so I picture that because they're still running and putting some stuff in, you're hiding and then move to another location. And then you realize that they're finally getting into the cabin, in the front cabin. And there's like 2 cabins, one in the front, one in the back. And they're all in the front cabin. They've loaded a whole bunch of stuff on the back. They used a crane that was in the back cabin to be able to put some stuff on. And these are like huge wheels, like monster truck wheels. So you have to like, you run up, put your back against the wheel so they can't see you, climb up this giant monster wheel, get onto the thing, and then with a quick thing, you kind of open the door, jump in, and shut the door real quick.
Exactly.
As you get into the cabin. And just as you get in, you heard some words coming from the main cabin. And I believe, Big Iron, what were those words again? Recall?
Now you're going to see why you pay me the big bucks, boss.
And suddenly it just takes off. And you get pulled into one of the seating areas in that back cabin. And they take off. And boom. There are like, you have a row of seat, and then behind it, there's some storage areas. So I will leave it up to Little T where they're hiding in that back cabin. You you know that based off of the information, the three of you are in the front and you're driving, it's gonna be like a 2-hour drive to get to where you need to go. What did I say?
2 hours?
Did I say 2? Was it supposed to be 2 hours or less? I can't remember.
No. In other words, if Big Iron calls up the tracking, it says that it's a 2 hours. It's kind of like, when you go Google Maps and Google Maps says it's going to take 90 minutes. Nah, you're racing against Google Maps to see if you can do it faster.
Okay, got it. So
speeding.
And as you are going, it's like a huge terrain thing, and it's got good shocks, but there's a few things that you're kind of going, and you're going through the pass, and like I said, there's this mountain range that you're kind of going through the pass to get through the mountain range, and what I'm going to show you is, if you can see it, if you can't log on to the Roll20, that's fine. We'll give a good description of it.
Thank you.
But you have a vehicle and you're going through this pass, and like I said, it is a big okay. So the map isn't to scale, but you've got this pass that, and it's there's multiple layers of this pass, and as you're getting closer to it, on the left side, and these, like, it's the right side is a little bit like, it's not sheer, it's kind of got a little bit of a wide, but the right side, it's like almost a cliff face down, and then when it gets up to a certain level height, and then it branches out to kind of larger and spreads out a little bit more into the large mountain kind of thing. And on the left side, just above where the sheer cliff face is, and before it kind of, that's where the ship came in and hit, and then proceeded to basically land. And as you're getting there, there's debris all throughout this pass, and it's kind of blocking majority of the pass, although you can still kind of get around it, but you've got to take a little bit of time, because you're not going to be able to potentially race through it. You can go fast, but if speeding through it, you potentially will do, there's a lot of rocks all over, and like I said, there's some large, big, huge, like, landslide that from what happened. I will need a piloting check from Big Iron. I believe this is our first roll.
Big Iron operational procedures recommend slowing to 10 miles per hour when going through hazardous terrain. So if you want to drop us down, that's all right.
All right. And then, so we were probably going 20, so he drops it to 18. And I got 2 successes.
All right. So yeah, you find the right path. And like I said, you're going over some heavier rocks. You slow down for a second. You kind of avoid some other ones. And then that's when you're pulling into the valley. And as you can see, it's more or less grasslands than anything else that's kind of in this large valley that you're going in. And several, I would say, it eventually gets to like where you're at, it's about a mile wide, and then it gets into like 4 miles wide, and then like 10 miles of how big. So it's kind of a triangular valley that you're kind of in, and it's made up of some trees and some just grasslands type situation, few rocks and outcroppings and hills in that kind of area, but it's for the most part pretty flat when it comes to this valley.
Okay.
And you can see it as you enter into the valley. You can see it that 5,000 plus we'll go kilometers, miles to kilometers. It is a long way that you've got this. Like, it's probably still a good, we'll go back to miles, kilometers. We're looking at 3 miles, 6, 7 kilometers, and you're, as to get to where it at, and then it kind of drops off because it's like I said, it's flat, then it drops off a little bit from a hill and then keeps going. But the skid mark of where this ship crashed is like 5,000 feet long. I mean, it's just long crater of just the ship coming in and crashing. You notice that it is a freighter and it's got 4 big engines on the back. The 2 bottom engines are crushed and they're just kind of there. One of the engines on the bottom isn't even there. It's actually sitting to the left somewhere. And the top of the picture, the top of the left one has fallen down too. And there's just mud and dirt and everything else, as well as certain flames coming from and smoke coming from this ship. It is very obvious this came in hard. And there's the dirt that's piled up from some of the pieces of the ship. There's open like sections of the ship that potentially could be access points, but it's really hard to tell based off of where the ship. It's smoking. The engines that are connected to the ship are still on. So there's a little bit of flame still coming from 2 of those engines. And they're just not propelling the ship. It's just that they're still on.
Okay.
So.
It's a big ship to come down so hard and fast.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. And
I hope everybody on there was braced for impact before it landed.
We're gonna find out.
What side do you go to pause to get readings and things of that nature, or to take a look at the ship, or do you do a one around? How do you approach the ship, and what side do you approach the ship from?
Well, I mean, obviously we can't go straight at it if the engines are still on. So that's number
very,
one.
very true.
And as much as he would like to show off, Big Iron's not stupid. So he would go probably. So if the ship scraped along the left-hand side of the canyon,
yep,
he would probably go more towards the right, simply because we don't know how weak the canyon wall is at this point on that side.
Okay.
So, and then as far as getting readings, if there's a spot that's slightly elevated so that we can kind of look over the ship,
yes,
that would be probably the best place to like stop temporarily.
I'll say based on where that is and how you're probably 100 feet away from the ship on the right hand side, and like towards the back, the front. So you're going to be able to. You're probably just based off of where we're looking, just behind the midway of the main right top engine. And so you're starboard engine. So you're just kind of parallel, like midpoint of where that starboard engine is, about 100 feet away. And that's going to give you, it's a little bit elevated because of the dirt as well as the hill that it's on. And that's kind of where it came in. So it's a little bit up at a slight angle. But that's probably the best way to be able to get the readings and things of that nature.
Okay.
All right. Phase 1 is site stabilization. So we need to get in there, and I'm gonna have to try and turn those engines off. Can you, Big Iron, do you know anything about the layout of this kind of ship?
Jay, does Big Iron know anything about the layout of this kind of ship?
Give me, let's go with, by the way, seeing this, everyone's stress level is a 1.
Yeah.
Except for Little T. Except because Little T, this is an adventure. So everyone else's stress level is at 1. Now, seeing this ship and like this massiveness. With that being said, I will say if you want to roll a machinery or
Okay.
or what I'm even I would even go piloting. I would go if you wanted if there's your agility piloting.
Okay. All right. That
or knowledge
makes
wise.
more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense for Big Iron. So, all right. So let's see here. Agility plus piloting roll. Oh, 2 successes. Oh, and one of them is the stress die.
One of the successes of the stress die?
Yeah.
That's fine. Successes are good. On the stress die, a 1 is bad. Successes are good. So 2 successes. So you know that this is a CM-88 Bison freighter. And that the general hangout is you have your cockpit, you've got cryo units and med bays. It's a pretty standardized cargo ship. There's an engine room in the back section, and then so that's where probably most likely was where some of the stuff is going to be able to turn off. Survivors would be in the front section, potentially in the cockpit. But the thing that you do notice that's strange enough, the ship has come apart. So like the back section is kind of at a little bit higher an angle, and the ship broke apart. So it's kind of like the back is here at an
like
angle.
The Titanic.
Very much so. And there's a little bit of a gap as the front kind of came up just slightly more level. So it eventually stopped. And when it stopped, this piece kind of just went up a little bit and broke. You know that go ahead.
So it's basically just burning whatever fuel has, because at this stage it's not getting any information from the cockpit anymore.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's just burning fuel.
It's just burning fuel based on whatever is there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going to the cockpit isn't going to do us any good to shut it off. So the best place is to go towards the engine room and hit the main shutoff there.
And they've got a cargo bay underneath, and it's 2 levels. The other thing is that going to the engine room to be able to shut it off is definitely something that you need to do. But being able to get to it, you're going to have to scan the ship with the portable scanner that you brought to find out where the best, or actually take like time to walk around the entire thing to try to find openings. Because even though it's open, there's certain areas that are cracked that you might be able to get opened in, or a door or a passageway. You're not sure based off of what the levels are. And again, like the basement level or the cargo bay of the back, you can still potentially access the level 2 and have to go up, or there's certain parts on level 2 that you might be able to get access to as well. So there's a lot of different possibilities to get into the ship.
Just at first glance, is there an opening that we see that we could use, or do we need to look for hatches or something like that?
You're going to definitely need to look for hatches because, like I said, even though it's cracked in the center, it's all filled with dirt and stuff like that. So you're not going to be able to access the stuff between.
All right. Well, let's get up a little bit closer, and then we'll start some scans, see if we can figure something out, and I'll start getting the portable scanner ready to go.
Is on top, which means you need to go to the back cabin to be able to get the crane out.
Okay. All right. So we'll just pull up a little bit closer to the ship itself, and then we'll just start unloading gear. So yeah, there's no surprises in anything. It's just standard by the book right now. I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Would there be any sort of, for a wreckage like this, would there be any sort of Geiger counters or like electrical, like other sorts of measurements for making sure that it is safe to be around?
Yes, so you're good. That's part of one of the scanning equipment.
Scanning package.
So all the scanning, you have multiple scanning,
cool.
So you can radiation, things of that nature. You could take a scan of the ship. You could pull up records to see like a scan of like what's shipped and be able to help you where damage and access, and actually have a tablet to be able to say kind of figure out where you are and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
What is there any kind I'm assuming there's probably some sort of a maintenance hatch towards the back where the engines are?
There's probably, but it could be covered by dirt. It could, so it's one of those things where after a scan or a physical, like it's going to take like an hour to physically walk to figure out what the hatches and what's accessible.
Okay.
Some of the hatches might be accessible. They could be damaged sections of the ship, or they could be under dirt.
That's why we have a crane to pull shit like that out of the way.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that we can either do a scan or we could take a full hour of in-game time of walking every inch of the ship and having Jay explain in detail every bit of the ship.
Oh, yeah,
I think we do the latter just to annoy Jay. No.
Oh, yeah. But you do
No,
what? So one of those things is too is like you wanted to know about radiation too. So
yeah.
Dr. Bennett's going to hop out as Jax is starting to list off the commands. Dr. Bennett's going to start doing his best to like hop out, and even though this is not his field of expertise until the scanner is set up, going to do his best to try to execute on said commands.
Ooh. One thing, because this is a higher point, weren't we going to set up a relay station?
that's part of the equipment that's on top too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what we should do is we should unload the relay station, set that up on the high point to maximize its range, and then we can pull the truck up more to unload the actual rest of the gear.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
Who's going to go in the back to use the crane to be able to take the equipment off before you move it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jax is the muscle. So
It's the machinery guy.
yeah.
Jax, can you please roll me a wits plus observation?
Okay.
What the roll is. It is wits plus observation. Yes. And remember 1 stress dice.
Okay. And let's see. So, wait, does that?
What's your wits?
My wits is 4 and my observation is 1, so I should have 5 dice, right?
5 dice plus 1 stress dice for a 6.
Well, no,
okay.
4 plus 1 stress dice.
Oh, I see. No.
It's wits plus observation. So your observation is 1, you get 1 dice. Your wits are 4, so that's 5
4.
dice.
Okay, 5.
And then one additional
1 stress.
Plus 1 stress dice.
I see. I thought when I clicked on observation in enemy plane that it would put all 5 of them, but it only puts the 1. So so you have to click the both things, the skill and the ability.
That's what I was saying. Is like it took me a little while to figure out exactly how the system works.
Yeah.
It allows for things like, oh, I want to use wits piloting to do something witty about a piloting navigation path or something. Like
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys see my rolls? Do you see my rolls? Or
I don't
no?
think so,
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, so I got 2 on these gray dice from my wits and observation. I got 2 of the little target that I assume is a success, is 6.
Yep.
And my yellow stress dice, it's got a little face hugger on it.
Ooh.
I think that's 1.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, Jay.
All right. So, with that being said, you're going to be rolling on your stress table. Your stress goes up by 1, so now you are at 2.
Gee, of all the characters to have his stress go up, right?
And this is picked perfect because the stress level goes up because that's when you notice little T hiding in the back.
There's something stressful happen.
Yes. So, with that being said, how it works
T
is
pops out.
it's a 2d6 plus your stress level plus your resolve. But so what we're going to do is resolve is your wits plus empathy divided by 2. So what is your wits? 4?
Okay, wits is 4.
What is your empathy?
Empathy is 2, so 6 total.
6 dice divided by 2, so that's 3.
Okay.
You have a stress level currently at 2, so basically what you're going to roll is 2d6, add them together, and then -1. So you're going to roll 2d6, and it's going to be 2 to 12, and then you -1.
Okay, 2d6 -1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I have a nice fancy dancy chart to indicate what happens.
Okay, so I got a 1 and a 2. So that's 3 minus 1 is 2.
Okay. So you're shaken, which means your
Oh.
stress level just goes up by 1 more. So now you are at 3. Because what happens is, as you get into the cabin, you look over and you are spooked and shaken because you see another body of little T right there, just kind of.
Can I like set a scene very quickly?
Go for it, please.
The way that the door opens, and would the little T have been able to hear the conversation from like the back cabin?
No, you wouldn't be able to necessarily hear it from the back cabin, but once they got to the door and started talking about stuff, and
Okay.
you've known that they're coming up, and yeah.
So I know they're coming, and they're essentially going to like get like equipment. Is like the plan to like. So you see this little child attempting to like pull like one of the the crates that's holding some of like the scanning equipment, and he's like struggling to like pull it open. It's like almost like on its side, and like it's open, and he's like trying to pull out some big metal device, and it's like he's like mid pull, and then like as the door opens, it's like little he doesn't even notice until like it's too late. And so like he looks over, he goes, and then like he tumbles over and like lets out like the screech, and like a bunch of like other like smaller like probably like devices like come tumbling over with him as he like pulls out too many things.
Yeah, Jax, you open the door and you see this, and you hear, and everyone can hear a screech from little T. What does Jax do?
Yeah, I think just part of the whole stress and freaking out, like a thousand problems go through Jax's mind all at once. His rigorous study of the operations manual has just been completely derailed by the presence of his little brother. and I think Jax just yells out, "Jesus Christ, little T!" and like reaches for you, but as you tumble out of the way, Jax just kind of like loses balance, loses his grip on the ladder that he's climbing up into, and just like goes backward, just falling flat on his back on the ground below, just breath knocked out of him. Like, it's just like, I am going to kill you.
The rest of you all hear and see this going on.
So
Let the scene unfold.
we hear Jax let out this shocked scream, and then he falls backwards out of the cab, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Big Iron would jump out with his pistol drawn. And
Dr.
just all he
Bennett.
sees is Jax laying on the ground, and and as soon as Jax says "little T," Big Iron's like, "What the?"
Dr. Bennett runs over, looks down at Jax, just to like make sure, like, okay, nothing looks broken.
There was a whole bunch of mud and stuff that cushioned his fall,
Okay.
so no damage.
Yeah.
And then turns around and goes, "Little T, Mayor Little T, you're supposed to tell people things. I thought we talked about this."
Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to kill you right now. Get your butt down here so I can kick your ass. You little punk.
You see little T's head like slowly peeks out from from like the little cabin. Says, "Yo."
Yeah. I like leap up and start scrambling up the ladder after you. Yeah.
Back inside.
And I'm just gonna grab you, and I'm just going to like grab the front of your jacket in one hand and like lift you up by that as I carry you down the ladder.
No!
Jax, it's my job to make sure that nobody that's currently alive dies. So please don't do this while we're on call.
Okay, but this is my little brother, and it's my job to make sure that he dies right now. What are you doing here? You are in so much trouble. Why would you even be there? I don't even understand you. What is wrong with your brain?
I need help. I brought my stuff.
I just set you down in front of Dr. Bennett, and I just like, I just have to like pace back and forth for a little while. But and because it's me and it's my character, so now that my jacket is covered in mud, I'm going to pull up my jacket, so I just got the tank top underneath, so you can see Jax's very broad muscular frame, because eye candy is important. Yeah.
Dr. Bennett kind of takes the jacket, like, no, we'll put this up, and like tries to hide it in the under the front seat. Like, this jacket will never be seen for the rest of this series. It's fine.
You're not famous jacket.
Yeah. No.
It's a
God.
big iron. Well, Jax is kind of pacing back and forth and muttering under his breath. Big Iron's gonna walk past him and goes, "This is your problem to deal with." And then he climbs into the cab and starts the process to unload the relay so that we can at least get that set up while this is going on.
Yeah. Mom and Dad are going to kill you if I don't do it first. If you don't die from being out here, this is dangerous. Do you not realize that?
Of course I know it's dangerous. That's why I'm here.
That doesn't even make sense.
I think
Why
that
would
makes
you
perfect
do
sense.
that?
Because
Why would you? Well, go ahead. Yeah, I'm just gonna fume and try to interrupt you, but you get out what you want to say. Yeah.
No, okay, you're not seeing the vision. I'm here. Mayor Little T, by the way, be respectful. Mayor Little T is here to save the day. Because what are you guys supposed to do when the big metal big ship bad ship crashes into mountain and you don't have Mayor Little T to help you out? What are you gonna do? Fix the ship on your own? No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix the ship on my own. And what are you the mayor of? Dumbass Town?
No, I'm the mayor. I haven't changed the name yet. But when I figure out the name, I was gonna change it to something cool, like Little T Town. Get a T Town because Little T. Yeah, you don't get it because you're not smart like me.
You're gonna be the mayor of Grounded for a year when we get back.
You can't ground me on a ship.
I'm not gonna have to ground you. Mom and Dad are gonna ground you.
Well, no, okay, but then they're gonna hear that I'm a big hero, Mayor Little T. Be respectful, and they're gonna.
Dr. Bennett, are you trained in psychology? Can you talk some sense into this ridiculous child?
Excuse me, I am not a child. I'm a mayor. Been through this.
Dr. Bennett turns around and he's going to attempt to do underneath empathy. There's the command skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to attempt to use that not in a like I'm giving you a command, like to like not like military command, but more of like the easy empathetic, like, hey, Mayor Little T, I could really use your help to do this thing that you want us to do. And like, you know, Jack said it was on here. You said to do it. It needs to be done. So like Dr. Bennett's trying to do this thing that he clearly does not have the strength to do by himself. So he's trying to like get little T over to like use that sort of like empathetic command to get little T to kind of like start helping if he's going to be here.
I will say the second you say like you need little T's help, he ignores whatever Jax is saying now. He immediately will run over to feel useful.
I like no effort needed, just little T's there to help.
And as this is finishing up, you look over and Big Iron's already got it unloaded, packed down. The array's kind of just starting to come up. He's flipping some buttons and you're bing, bing, bing.
Big Iron was muttering to himself when little T went off on his little tirade. Big Iron said to himself, he goes, if he says his danger is his middle name, I'm going to kick the little shit's ass, myself.
And as you finish getting the relay up, it makes the connection. And one of the things about these mountains is that there is strong materials in these mountains, hence why it was picked close to the mining colony and why the mining colony was established here. Because underground, like I said, there's a lot of precious ores and minerals and things, and these mountains are filled with those particular things. And there's a lot of different materials and ores in them. So not going to give you a list. Needless to say, that one of the reasons why you can't communicate directly to the colony is because of these ores. So you kind of have to bounce it off a satellite that's in orbit, more or less, or kind of going around. Hence, that's why normal communications weren't going to be working. So as it appears, you've established that connection to the satellite and potentially back at the command.
Okay.
What would you like to do now before you move closer to the ship to do the scans?
So as Big Iron finishes what he was working on and stuff, he'll walk over to Jax and he'll just take his sunglasses off as he's looking at little T. And then he's going to look at Jax and he's going to say, that little shit stays in the cab, doesn't touch anything, and doesn't say a word. And then he puts his glasses back on and he starts walking to the front of the truck.
Jax is in complete agreement. He just gives you this like somber nod, like, nah, yeah, nah, nah, yeah. And I need some time to cool off. So as Big Iron goes back to the front cab to to pull us down closer, Jax is going to climb into the back cab now that it's open and just kind of like, and he's just kind of like, and he just kind of like, as he's kind of like getting in, he just shouts up to Big Iron. He's like, is there a way to lock this from the outside?
No.
Did we bring a welder?
Yes.
And I'll climb into the back and start like, I'm gonna go through the operations checklist of the crane operations so that I can stop seething.
I picture that after a minute or two, so Jax is in the back, Dr. Bennett, Little T, and Big Iron get into the front. You move that 100, 200 feet down a little bit, getting closer to the ship. You stop at a good location to be able, you get out, and then you're starting to break down the equipment for the scanners and other things, and you're getting this big picture, and that you get the little bit better picture of like the crash site and just kind of the smoking and stuff like that.
Dr. Bennett looks over at Big Iron. I know this is probably on his checklist, but he seems distracted a bit. Do you know if he phoned home to let them know that we were at the crash site and beginning a scan?
Well, I would assume as soon as we made communications with the satellite, we would have sent a message. And he's saying it exactly like this because it's not the kind of stuff he worries about.
Right.
So I would have thought we would have sent a message to let them know that we're at the crash site, but we probably didn't because he's too busy being pissed off at his little brother right now. So why don't you go ahead and do that now while I finish getting us there?
I can do it.
I told you no talking.
I need
turns
you.
around and looks around.
Dr. Bennett turns around and goes, if you're going to be here within this area, I need you to put this on, and like pulls out a personal medical device, transponder. He goes, I need you to put this on, and I need you to keep it on until we get back to the station safely. If I don't know where you're at or if you're alive, there's a problem. And there's no problems, right?
Another one.
You're borrowing this one because you have changed the rules by being here. So you changed the rules, and this is the new rule: is you must have one. If this goes offline, I'm assuming that you died, and it will be reported that you died. So this needs to stay on you. Otherwise, you're considered dead.
But wouldn't that be like pretty cool though? Can you imagine if it's like it goes off and you all think, "Oh no, Mayor Little T, what will we do?" And then I come out of the woodworks and I blow off the whole scary alien, or the scary rock monster, or the scary other ship that comes barreling down. I'm gonna take it.
And then Dr. Bennett just turns back around and messages back and says, broadcast the message saying, we've arrived. We are setting up to scan the ship now, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we did arrive faster than expected, but we are at the ship, I promise.
And then does Big Iron wait for him to get back into the cabin? Because you hadn't taken off just yet to get back into the cabin before you go down, or did you go down?
No. So Jay, in reading the description of the tractor,
yes,
it says that there's a central cabin area that has berths. Okay. So it says most models of the tractor has a fully enclosed cabin comes standard. All cabins are self-contained biosystems with the support capability sealed against poisonous atmospheres, biohazards, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Cabins are configured around a central living area incorporating a galley and berths for up to 5 people. Okay. So it's basic living spaces. And that area is reinforced with a roll cage and can be sealed fore and aft by a sliding bulkhead door.
Okay, so it is accessible from both sides.
Right. So
we're going to say, well, this particular is older, so that door does not work.
Which door doesn't work?
From the main cabin to the back one.
Okay, to the back.
The back. To the front, yes. To the front, yeah. But in the back, it does not work. It is, and because of that, people have made it into a wall.
Okay. so because there is a cabin door between the driver's cab and this galley area, when we get ready to drive, Big Iron's going to make sure that Little T is in the cabin area, and then close the door so that Little T can't get into the driving portion of it.
Okay. All right. So as the thing, Little T, you're in the cabin. There's bunks and everything else. That's where all the your gear and stuff is been put.
Right.
And organization, because if you have to sleep. Yeah.
Great Big Iron. Now he's unsupervised.
Yes, but he's in a locked area where he can't go anywhere.
Which is good for a short period of time.
Right. The only thing that he could possibly do is because that's where the galley is, he could start a fire.
Right.
He's not smelling smoke, no.
Yeah.
But we're only driving. We're driving less than a quarter of a mile.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
You get back over the course of you finally getting your spot, you start unloading things and things of that nature. Little T, you sitting around and you look and you notice that they did lock you in, but you have been in these things before. You've hidden in these things before. You know how to get out of these things before.
Little T cannot be solved.
And you can either try to unlock the door to the main cabin, or there is a crawl space somewhere in the maintenance toilet type situation that you could potentially drop out of
It's
an
pulling through the engines coming out of the side.
Pretty much, yes. You know how to get out of this thing, and I'm just going to let, when the time comes, by all means. But as the group sets up, it's going to take a good 20 minutes to kind of get the things down, start setting up the equipment, and getting the scans. With that, I need someone. By the way, Jax, with your calming up in the back of the cabin, on your way back, you lower your stress by 1. You're
nice.
at 2 stress.
Okay.
While everyone else, except for Little T, is at 1 stress. So Little T has 0, the other 2 have 1, you have 2.
Yeah. Why would Little T be stressed?
I'm better than all of you.
With that said, I need someone to give me it's going to be we're looking at wits plus comtech or wits plus heavy machinery.
Ooh. So yeah, that's probably me. So I have wits 4 and heavy machinery 2.
Okay. And then
So
I need someone else also to give me one of those rolls as well, because there's multiple equipment that's being put together.
Well, Big Iron has wits 3 and comtech 2, so.
Okay. All right.
All you, Big Iron.
So Big Iron, so you're going to have the 5 plus 1 stress dice. And then Jax, you're going to have 2 stress dice. So go ahead and give those rolls and let's see what you succeed.
Ooh, I got 2 success.
All right. We lost Jim for a second.
Oh, I got 2 successes.
Okay. And any ones on the stress dice?
Nope, got a 4.
Perfect. What about Jax?
I got no successes.
Okay.
I out of 8 dice, not a single one of them.
Wow.
It happens. Did you get any ones on your stress dice?
Yes. Again, I got a 1 on one of the stress dice.
Okay.
This random number generator hates me.
It's all about the story.
Yeah.
So your stress level goes back up to 3 because you are as you're putting this
your
together.
Character, Adam, it's all you, baby.
And as you're trying to do some scanning and things like that, you're just distracted.
Yeah.
And this is not the frustration of this thing working or not working. So I will need you to roll a 2d6. Just roll because you have 3 stress. Your resolve is 3, cancels out, so just 2d6. And add the numbers together, and we're going to roll in your stress table.
Okay, so rolling 2d6 flat.
Yep.
I like to imagine every time it's like he starts to calm down, he just hears like Little T's voice echo in his head.
Right? Yeah. We're in dumbass town. I got a 6 and a 5 for 11. Now I get a 6. Yeah.
4 and 11.
So,
okay.
11.
Messed up. Your skill has the opposite of the intended effect.
No.
If this was combat, you would hit your friendlies. But since this is not in combat, your stress level goes up by 1, and everyone else in the zone goes up by 1.
That's fair.
So as you were trying to get this thing working, it's not working right.
Yeah.
Because it was the device that Little T was playing with or screwing around with, and it's just not working right because of something. And basically, you finally you realize that something got moved out, and you put it back in, and suddenly it goes bing, 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 bing. And as this particular one is going. Now the question is, were you doing this?
No.
Were you doing the scanner or the ship scanner or the radiation scanner?
I think honestly the first step. So going back to the policy manual, the first step is to scan for hazards. So I would have been using the radiation scanner first. That's the first thing I would set up.
Okay. Big Iron, as you set up your scanner, you get you get a scan of the ship.
Okay.
And with those 2 successes, you're going to locate several different access points to be able to get in the ship. And I will let you know where those access points are in just a moment. You will also, because you got 2 successes with that, you do know that there is a small amount of radiation, but not enough. And it's primarily coming from the back of the ship.
Of course it is.
But here's the
It's not where
problem.
we've got to go.
It's just a small amount, but here's the problem. The nuclear reactor is starting to overload.
Oh, great. We got to shut that off first.
Because what you recognize is that if it blows, this entire valley will be radiated and will fall out onto the colony if it's not taken care of. Now,
Oh, Jay,
yes.
can I offer up something maybe to make things worse for us?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
please do, because that's what you're going to figure out. It might not be the truth, but what you figure out from all the stuff that's going on, but please do.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of thinking is kind of going along with my stress levels and the ones on the stress die. So I think maybe actually the radiation is actually worse than what Jim's passive scanner is picking up.
Uh-huh.
The radiation scanner that I was setting up would have told us how dangerous it is.
Mm-hmm.
But because things are messed up on it, and I finally just I finally just get tired of it and just like do some percussive maintenance, smacking it hard with the wrench. It comes back online and it reads as though there's no radiation, even though there is radiation.
Yes.
So
yep.
Yeah.
100%. No
Yeah.
radiation whatsoever
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're totally fine.
Yep. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Very much so.
All right, we're clear of radiation.
We are?
Yeah, radiation scanner's picking up nothing.
I'm getting some readings from the reactor.
Oh, it's probably just background radiation if it's from the reactor. It should just be fine with the containment on the reactor.
Unless the reactor is overloading.
If that's so, then we need to like shut that down immediately.
Yeah, yes.
Do we shut that down in the back in the engines, or can we just like turn it off in the from the captain's area?
From the bridge?
I
Yeah,
don't
from the
think
bridge.
I don't think we can do anything from the bridge the way that ship's been broken in half. So I don't know how much communication.
Anyone that survived potentially is in the front of the ship. Turning off the back in the engine room is where turning off any.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use all the emergency shutoffs at this point. I wouldn't rely on anything from the bridge right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you two want to go check out the bridge, I can make my way to the reactor and shut that down.
Big Iron and Dr. Bennett looks over. Can you see if there's any auto docks or where the med bay is?
So the med bay is towards the back. Right, Jay?
Clean up the map room.
Is that what you said?
So med bay. So this is med bay right here.
Okay.
That's med bay. So it is in the rear towards the back. This is cryo. This is where the cryo units are. This is also med bay 2 area. These are halls, and with the back, and this is kind of a meeting room. So basically, in what you see is these are corridors and things of that nature. This goes to the lower level cargo hold, as well as these stairs here and these stairs here. This is the bridge. Any of the white circles and these are elevators to the lower levels. Anything that has a white circle around it, those are access points from that level. So from where you could get in, you could access a tube like one of the ventilation systems here. You could access the main hallway here with a little bit of difficulty. From coming from this level, like walking the hills, getting in. The only way to get to the bridge from this level, the second level, is an access point from a tube here. Otherwise, in the cargo, there are some access that would be able to get you up to that level. To get to the reactor, again, you could go to the cargo bay, or there are 3 access points on this level. Otherwise, I'm going to switch over to, this is the cargo bay, and there is basically there are only 2 access points. From this area into the lower level that potentially this elevator is working, everything else in black is not.
Okay.
And then you could access these areas. So you'd have to do the tubes here, get through here, get into the hallway, and then access these walkings to get up to the main area.
So the only way to get to the reactor is to go through the cargo bay?
Not necessarily, no, because if we go back, let me pull up the other.
Well, okay. So based on my scan,
Mm-hmm.
what is the quickest way to get to the reactor?
The quickest way to get to the reactor would be one of these 3 points right here on the level that you're at, on the second level, top level of the ship. Those are the 3 access points.
Okay.
All right, Jax, what are we gonna do? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Big Iron.
No, I'm thinking it's like part of me thinks that Jax and Big Iron should go together to try to shut the reactor off, since they're the 2 that would have the most knowledge about it. But at the same time, I don't like the idea of Dr. Bennett going in. Basically, Big Iron's caught between a rock and a hard place as the military guy.
Yeah.
Going, I don't want one guy walking off by himself with no backup.
Searching the ship for survivors.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
I'll take Mayor Little T with me.
No.
Oh, no. Nope. Little T is staying right in that tractor. Look, Big Iron, you go with the doctor. I mean, if one person's going to go off on their own, it's fine with me. I've got a pistol. I got my cutting torch. I got my toolkit. I mean, I will once I get suited up, but.
And you do have weapons in the back if you want to carry. You've got a rifle, a shotgun, one of the military automatic weapons, and sidearms as well. So,
yeah.
But,
yeah.
All right.
Jax is going to go to the galley where all his stuff is and gear up and tell Little T how Jax thinks it's going to be.
The Little T just like sits and is like nodding his head. He's like,
yeah, and Jax is like strapping on the Kevlar vest and like he's got like this big toolkit and like this cutting torch that sort of just like sits on a backpack kind of thing that he can sling over, and all of this like heavy machinery gear that he's like getting together and putting on, and he's just like, I cannot believe that you did this. And I don't even know what to say to you right now. Like, I don't know that I have ever been so angry in my entire life, including when you dumped macaroni and cheese on my head right before my date. So
I was trying to help you. I love mac and cheese.
You're not helping in this situation, Little T. Like, this is dangerous. You're not supposed to be out here. I know you're like way smarter than everybody else around you, except me. I know you think you're smarter than me, but you are not.
I am, but okay.
You are way out of your depth here. This is dangerous adult stuff, and I do not know how to protect you other than to lock you in this galley, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And don't make me weld it shut from the outside.
First of all, I'm 13. I'm practically an adult. Second of all, you listen. I feel like you are underestimating the power of little T. Okay, Mayor Little T.
Be respectful.
I've be respectful. See, now you're learning. See, soon you're gonna come around, and me and you, it's gonna be me and you, like trying to throw his arm around your shoulder. It's gonna be me and you. We're gonna be traveling through the deepest, darkest parts of this ship. We're gonna find the engine. We're gonna find the controls. We're gonna find like what do you guys call it? The logs. There's gonna be logs there, and that we're gonna learn what happened, and we're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna bring that back, and we're gonna bring all the people back, and they're gonna be like, you're a hero, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, because I'm Mayor Little T, and I saved the day.
Yeah, okay.
We saved the day.
All of that is correct, except we refers to me and Dr. Bennett and Big Iron.
And Little T.
No, not you. And because let me ask you a question. Did you take the search and rescue orientation shift orientation? No, you didn't, because you weren't assigned it, you weren't enrolled in it, you weren't present. I know, because I took it. And if you didn't take it, then it's illegal for you to be here. So when you go back, you're going to go to jail if we tell them that you were here. So do you want to go to jail, Little T?
Probably handle jail.
I look, I do not know what else to do with you, but I have work to do, and so do the other grown-ups in this situation. So I need you to sit your butt down here, right here, stay out of trouble, don't touch anything, and stay here until we're back, and we're heading back to the colony. Do you understand? Do you understand? And yeah, I like so on a character note, Jax has never been physically violent with his siblings. Like
for sure.
there's like we kind of talked about this. I don't remember how much we decided on, but there's like 8 of us, and Jax is like the oldest at like 27, and like so Jax is like the uptight one who has tried to be the order amongst the chaos of all these younger siblings, has never like raised a fist to them, even like smacked them. But being 6'4" and 230 pounds of muscle, like Jax has not hesitated to like pick them up and put them where they need to go, kind of. Right? But yeah, I think Jack steps over to you and just like picks you up by the shoulders and sets you in a chair, if that's all right with you.
No, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That sit here, do nothing, touch nothing, and stay here until we are back and headed back to the colony. Do you understand?
I understand.
Thank you. And so Jack's like turns to start to leave, but as he gets to the door before he shuts it, he just looks back and like has this kind of like this sort of like frustrated but loving look on his face, and he's like, I just need to take care of you and keep you safe, okay? I'll be back in a bit. And then he shuts the door.
I was
Oh,
like,
you can
before
say
I, like,
something if you want to. Yeah.
no, before I can completely shut the door, He's like, little T, like sort of leans over. It's like, hey, wait.
What?
And he like reaches into his bag and he takes out like a bag of dehydrated chips. And he's like, you're forgetting something, Big J. And he throws it over.
Oh,
Sit tight, okay?
I'm sitting and it is real compact in here.
I love you, even though I hate you right now. Shut the door.
And as Jax gets down, meets up with Dr. Bennett and Big Iron, as you're about to make your way toward the ship to find out your entrances to be able to do what you needed to do, that is where we're going to end episode 1, series 2, The Colony. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This has been a pleasure to watch with these wonderful and talented players around this virtual table. This is so cool. We are pre-recording this, so when we release this, it's going to be late 2025 or early 2026. So with that being said, just please share who you are and where we can find you, knowing that the anything that's happening that you're promoting will be timey-wimey type stuff. So why don't we this way? Danny, thank you so much for being here. Where can we find you?
Hello, it's me, Danny Dance Corner, and I played a little problem today. I had such a good time. I had such a great time. Thank you all so much for having me. You can find me everywhere at Danny's Corner except for Twitter, where it's at Animated Pizza. Don't ask why. I do other RPG stuff. I draw a lot. I have commissions open, so if you want like art, if you give me money, you get art. Isn't that like a cool thing of how the world works? And yeah, besides that, if you just follow me on Twitter, you can usually find whatever I'm doing at that point, which is probably not a lot or too much at once. It depends on the season. And I just want to give like a little like a post credit scene, like end of episode scene where we see like little T like sitting on like the chair he was placed in, like tapping his fingers. He touches like a wall just to be like because he's not allowed to touch anything, and so he just like touches a wall randomly, and then the camera like pans to like one of like the bathroom that's in like the apartment he's in, and then it pans to him, and he just smiles, and then it cuts away.
Next episode, Little T might be escaping. We'll see.
What?
We'll see. Thank you, Danny, so much. Wonderful to have you. Joshua, thank you for being here. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic, both in the present and in the future when this airs, just because I get to be surrounded by these amazing people. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. You can find me on Twitch under Gen2 Penguin, Gentoo, Penguin, Pnguin. I typically stream horror games. I don't see that changing anytime soon. But I stream horror games, and when I stream RPGs, it's usually with Jay. So follow Jay, and you'll see me play RPG things if you don't care about horror games. Otherwise, timey-wimey in the future stuff, I'm probably working on both Adventure Con, which is adventure-con.com. We're working on their RPG room, which is a regional con in northwestern Arkansas. And then working on JoshCon, and hopefully by the time we do future recordings, I will have more information on that from the past for the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Jam, how you doing, sir? And where can we find you?
You can find me under Hawkmere1 on most of the socials, and you can find me every other Wednesday night here on the Emporium of the Wayward Gamer playing my Dwarven Sorcerer, Glassstock Steelcloak, and the Adventures of the Natural Ones. And every now and then I show up at a convention with Talon of Claw.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Adam, Thank you, sir. How are you doing? Where can we find you?
Yeah, I am great. I've been Adam, playing Jax Rickard. So this has been super fun. That reveal was everything I wanted it to be. Little T, big problem. I love it. That was such a freaking blast. So, but yeah, so you can find me at Hoobuk on the socials, HOOBUK, mostly just Instagram, and but you can also I am a painter, and you can find my art and have it put on stuff at my Redbubble store, which is redbubble.com/people/Hoobuk, and most recently here on Emporium for the Wayward Gamer, I played Shadowport Adventures Luck of the Draw with Jim, and that Jay ran, our Star Wars game. Super fun. And mostly you can find me at Happy Jacks, Happy Jacks RPG channel, which is happyjacksrpg.org, or no, it's just happyjacks.org. And you can find me there on the advice show on Saturday evenings a lot of times, and on our backlog of shows where I often run or play in our streaming RPGs on Happy Jacks. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam. Again, I am Jay, also known as NeoFed3 on most of the socials, NeoFed on Instagram. But thank you for being here. We are looking forward to this series, this 4-part series of Aliens. And this is turning out to be a very, very fun process. So thank you so much for being here. And we will leave you with this episode with, please be kind, don't be a jerk. Have fun. Take care and see you next time.